You're someone who likes to get after it in the gym and you've been training for several years, such as myself, there's a good chance you've experienced shoulder pain or some sort of nagging discomfort at some point in your training career. And there are many ways that we as physical therapists will go about attacking that to help you be able to get back to those things that you love to be able to do. And we can get really in the weeds with a lot of different things by attacking our rotator cuff strength and its ability to stabilize the golf ball that is the shoulder on the golf tee that is the socket of the shoulder, right? And its ability to control it in a variety of different positions and work on your scapular, your shoulder blade strength and control and those sorts of things. Maybe even get further in the weeds and look at rib cage positioning, how that influences the position of the whole shoulder complex, and so on and so forth. And I could keep going down this rabbit hole. And all that stuff is really important and something we have to do to be able to get you back to whatever it is that you really love to be doing. But also, there can be a simpler side to this as well. It's a multifactorial approach here, where on the other end, we can also see, are there any easy, simple modifications we can make to your training routine that perhaps doesn't take any of the reward from your training that you're trying to achieve, whether it's building strength, building muscle mass, etc. And so we don't lose any reward, but maybe we take away some of the risk. So I want to go over just a few of my favorite modifications that I make. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, as there are many. Now, we don't have enough time to probably get to those today, but I want to go over just maybe three that I really like. One of which is overhead pressing, right? Pressing straight overhead is a great thing to be able to do, but a lot of people don't have the prerequisites to be able to achieve that position for a variety of different reasons, which again, we can certainly work on. But in the meantime, a great modification you can make, which gets you a lot of the benefits without reducing the risk, is a landmine press. So instead of pressing a barbell or a dumbbell straight overhead, we do something called a landmine press, such as you're seeing here, where we press up and out a little bit to just give us a little more freedom of movement so we don't have to jam our shoulder really up overhead where our bicep is almost next to our ear. We give the shoulder a little more room to operate by being in front of the body, and that can feel a whole heck of a lot better for a lot of people. Now, another one is when we do a pull-up. Everybody loves to do a pull-up. Not everybody can do a pull-up, but if you can, or you like to do some sort of vertical pull-down action, one easy modification can be, instead of pulling in this pronated grip with your palms facing away, can we make a simple modification and just make it neutral where your palms are facing each other, assuming that in your gym you have the ability to do that. Now, if you don't, one modification you can make is simply change up the exercise. You're still pulling in the same direction, but instead of having your arms fully overhead with your palms facing away, maybe you can do something like a half kneel pull down, where now your hands in more of that neutral position with your palm facing in, a little more, a little easier on the shoulder. And you can also pull with the arm more in front of the body, which, as we talked about earlier, can be just a little bit more helpful. Now, finally, I've talked about this in previous videos, but people love to bench press. But lately with me, I know my anterior shoulder has gotten a little cranky as I really push the weights up and maybe push the frequency of training there a little bit. And as I work on the things I need to work on, one of the easy modifications I can make is simply limit the range of motion. Right? And it doesn't mean you have to just stop on your own. You could perhaps get a little pad. So this is a pad that we have at our gym that we use a lot that, as you can see, limits the motion so that your elbow is not going too far behind your trunk and putting a lot of stress on the anterior shoulder. You don't have to have one of these. At most gyms, they'll have a squat pad that is like a foam pad you can put around the bar itself. A lot of people use it to ease the brunt of stress on their neck when they're doing like a squat or something like that. But you can take that bar, that pad, put it on the bar when you're doing a bench press. It helps limit the range of motion, and even minimizing it by a half an inch or an inch can make a whole lot of difference in terms of the stress on the anterior shoulder itself. So if you're somebody who has been experiencing shoulder pain for quite a good period of time, and you want to really nip it in the bud once and for all, of course, we want to address the root cause as to why that shoulder pain is there to begin with and address that. But as we do so, or in conjunction with it, making some simple little modifications like the ones I described today can make a whole lot of difference when it comes to long-term shoulder health and just having that shoulder feeling great once again. If you're looking for help with your shoulder issue, you know where to go.